I think we can all agree that when we were kids, we didn't learn enough about money, that it would have been nice to have an education on budgeting and taxes and how to save. And more than that, there are hidden laws of money that can be so helpful to fully understand as an entrepreneur and if you're somebody who wants to generate greater wealth in your life. And what I would say about this is most people who've cultivated and generated a certain amount of wealth, they're what I would call an unconscious competent, where they maybe don't even fully understand why they've been able to accumulate that kind of wealth and why they've had that success. Once we start to understand the hidden laws of money, we become more conscious and we can apply these laws into our life to really harness them to generate greater income, greater wealth inside of our lives. And the first thing to understand is that money is energy. Everything is energy. We know that. And quantum physics is really starting to back up what I would say the great mystics have known for thousands of years. Everything is energy, including money. One of the game-changing ideas in my life when it comes to money was that my job is not my source. And that kind of threw me off a little bit. I didn't understand what that meant. My job was my source in what I thought. That's where my paycheck came from. That's how I paid my bills. That's how money flowed to me. And this idea that my job is not my source, spirit is my source. And spirit, replace that with the universe or God. Money is energy, and it flows from one source. There's an infinite amount of channels that it can come to you with. But your source is energy, and it's infinite. So this idea of attaching to where does my money come from? What are the channels in which it flows? But those channels are not your source. So understanding that money is energy. And energy needs to move. Energy needs to flow. Noticing your own habits around maybe hoarding money, right? You want to hang on to it. You're scared to spend it. You're scared of letting it go. Or maybe you give away too much, right? You spend more than you're making. So energy needs to flow. We need to give. We need to receive. We need both of those energies. It's meant to circulate. Important to understand those two ideas, that money is circulating. My job is not my source. Spirit is my source. Money can flow to me from infinite ways. When I understood that my job wasn't my source, what happened was I opened myself up to receive from other channels. And as I started to think the thought, money can flow to me from all sorts of places, surprise checks started to show up in the mail from unexpected sources. But if I think this is the only way money can come to me, I'm closing myself off to all of the other abundance that's available. So money is energy. Money can flow to you from many, many different channels. Money needs to move and it needs to flow. So make sure that you're giving and you're receiving, that you're in the law of circulation. The other thing that was a game changer for me is to understand that money loves structure. So what does that mean? Energy really moves in more powerful ways when it's put through a structure. If you think about the sun is very powerful. It's lighting up this beautiful day. But when you put the sun through a structure called a solar panel and you harness that power through the structure, it will produce electricity. And so when we pour energy through a structure, it creates greater results. Why is this important? If money is energy and energy flows better through structure, what are the structures that you have in place for your money? How are you caring for your money? Do you look at it? Do you ignore it? Do you put your head in the sand? Do you have a place for it to flow through? What bank accounts do you have set up? What investments do you have set up? What's the structure you have in place for giving? And when Jeff and I looked at this in our own finances and we started to get greater clarity on the structures and the accounts and how do we want money to flow, and we put those structures in place, it was amazing how it created more flow and more abundance. So what structures do you have in place? The other idea is that money is going to go where it's loved and it's appreciated. And so your relationship with money, if you're somebody who thinks I'm not good with money, I'm irresponsible with money, I've abused money before, you've maybe had bankruptcies or losses, notice your relationship with money. And what would it look like to appreciate your money? To change that money story to be one that is more expansive. That I am good with money, that I spend my money wisely, that money flows to me easily. How we relate to money is going to impact how it flows in and out of our life. So appreciate what we appreciate appreciates. And so appreciate your money. I see so many people who are highly interested in the outgoings, right? Here's all the bills I have to pay. Here's everything that's going out. Here's where I'm spending money. You want to be equally as interested in the money that's coming in. Appreciate it. You find a $20 bill in your jeans pocket. Be grateful for that $20 bill. Really appreciate the money as it's flowing into your life, because what we appreciate appreciates. There are hidden laws of money and abundance that go far beyond investments and savings and taxes. And when we understand the energetics of money and we harness those laws, we can create much greater wealth. If you would love to have a greater understanding about money in your life so you can attract greater wealth, I encourage you to watch our free Money Mastery for Entrepreneurs Masterclass. I'm going to help you unlock some of those beliefs that might be preventing you from attracting greater abundance. How do you reframe them? And give you some really powerful tools that you can put in place right away so that you can attract greater wealth into your life. So would you like to have more money flowing through your life? It starts with your mindset and really harnessing those invisible laws of money and wealth. I'm Stacey Berger. Here is to you living a life that you love.